of Miami have, but he's so proud and he loves working with these players, developing the players. That's what he loves the most about coaching.
Miami, you see the players fired up. They've won the coin toss, so they're going to defer to the second half, meaning we'll get a chance to see Bubba Baxa kicking off for the Canes, and an opportunity to see Montre Braswell and company back deep for the Chips. Toe meets leather, and we're underway here in South Florida. Braswell takes a knee, and the Chips will start from their own 25. There's a good look at David Moore making his second career start today for the Chips.
Yeah, and his second career start here in Central Michigan, and he's a transfer. He started his career at Memphis, and he's come in and he's done a really good job. Last week, he was taking over for the injured Quentin Dormady, who's going to miss 4 or 5 weeks. And what he did, he just moved the ball consistently down the field. I was really impressed with his arm strength and his ability to get the ball to the receivers, short kind of crossers over the middle.
Moore in the gun. Gets it off to his back out of the backfield. That's a nice job of pitch and catch to his tailback, Colby Lewis. DJ Ivey runs him out of bounds, but not before the Chippewas move the chain on first down.
Yeah, that's a big pickup. You got to get your spark early, and that was, they got 5 guys out. Their running back got out to the flat, and just a miscommunication between the linebackers for Miami to pick up the first down.
Making your second career start, you want to get some easy completions early on, right? Get the confidence up.
Yeah, you do, absolutely, and you do that by getting the ball to your playmakers in space, and that's what they were able to do on that first pass of the game.
Colby Lewis, a nice carry again on first down, picks up 7 yards before one of those linebackers you talked about in the open, Shaq Quarterman, makes the stop, but a good gain on first down. Speaking of good games last weekend, you mentioned David Moore against Akron. Colby Lewis had 143 yards on 23 carries. Now it's split out as one of the wideouts. Pressure comes, and it's a dangerous pass out. The flat receiver keeps his feet and is able to pick up the first down. That looked like Ja'Cory Sullivan out there in the flat. And a nice pitch and catch. My bad, it was Khalil Pimpleton.
Yeah, and Pimpleton is a guy who, they love getting the ball to. He's a small, quick receiver, but he thinks he can match up well, especially out of that slot. And you saw him there move from the slot and get the out route and stay on his feet for that first down.
Central Michigan now on their first drive of the game in Miami territory. Moore looks to his right, has a receiver open. Again, it was Lewis out of the backfield. He couldn't hang on.
They had one there. Ball just fell incomplete, but he had leverage on that outside defender.
Miami's defense, you saw Gilbert Frierson there in coverage. Jonathan Garvin, defensive end, there he is.
And then don't be fooled by those stats. You see there, 1 tackle for loss. He led this Miami defense in tackles for loss last year, and a lot of times they're sliding the line protection to him this year, and his production will come. He's been very consistent in his play, and those sacks and TFLs will come.
Oh, big hits.
Oh, wow. Shaq Quarterman. Shaq Quarterman, wow. Look at this guy right here. Watch him as this play develops. He sees it, he gets downhill, bam, shoulder on the football. Lucky that ball didn't come out, and that's a big stop, creating a long third down for Central Michigan.
That was Lou Nichols, the ball carrier. He just turned 18 years of age. Welcome to big boy football, Lou.
Happy birthday, Lou.
3rd and 10 for Central Michigan. Moore steps up in the pocket. Still looking to find a receiver over the top. Tried to hit Pimpleton just too high, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Trajan Bandy was really good in his assignment on that play. Broken plays, a lot of times when the quarterback scrambled, you have different responsibilities, and one responsibility for a wide receiver is to go deep, give him an option deep. Trajan Bandy stayed over top of his receiver, denied that throw, and they crossed midfield, but now it's going to be a field position game. See if they can pin him down deep.
Brady Buell to do the punting for Central Michigan. Roll kick. Jeff Thomas signals for a fair catch, steps up to make the catch, and Miami will start on their first offensive possession from their own 15-yard line. Sharon Williams, this young man right here, won the starting job in the summer, and it's been a learning experience for him, that is for sure. Coming out of Georgia, that's the Metro Atlanta, Central Gwinnett High School. You see he's the homecoming king, very popular. #4 recruit in the state of Georgia. Look at that crew he's with right there.
Yeah, those guys look familiar.
Rarefied company. Committed to Kentucky, then paid a visit to Miami when game day was here, changed his mind, and now he's a Hurricane.
Yeah, I think that's such a cool story. He comes here, college game day's down. He got signs asking Sharon Williams to come. He says, okay, I'll accommodate you. I'm coming.
The fake to DJ Dallas. Has some time. Now on the backside as a receiver, wide open. That's Will Mallory, the tight end. And he's going to pick up big yardage out near midfield into Central Michigan territory.
This is one of those plays, you see him right here on the line of scrimmage, and he's just going to sneak slowly out and work down the field. And all the play actions going to the left, and he almost fakes like he's blocking, and then, you know, lulls his defender to sleep, gets wide open. We called that an oh shoot play as linebacker, because you turn around, you see the tight end wide open, you go, oh shoot! Missed one man.
DJ Dallas, his first carry of the day, has a lot of room into the second level. Now down close to the 35-yard line, first down for the Canes.
DJ Dallas is such a shifty back, and you know, he combines his power and shiftiness to create a lot of explosive plays. When we were talking to Central Michigan and we were talking to Jim McElwain, he was saying, you know, a lot of the times DJ Dallas creates plays when plays aren't really there. All the gaps we plug in, he bounces out and makes a big rush.
Canes moving on their first possession out in the flat. Here's Thomas. Trying to stretch it out, picks up about 5 yards, 6 yards on the catch. It'll bring up second down and short. Miami on the offensive side of the ball. You saw DJ Dallas. I think he's an underrated back. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Sharing time with Travis Homer last year, it's really his backfield now.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why he's underrated, is because this is the first time anyone's seeing him carry the ball a lot. He led the Canes in all-purpose yards last year, but this is his first time as the starter getting the ball for the carries. And watch out, DJ Dallas is the player.
Play fake to Dallas, had Thomas wide open a little late. Now he's underneath to his wide out again. That's the tight end Mallory inside the 10. He had a couple of different options on that play. Initially, Jeff Thomas was open deep. He decided to come down underneath a little bit to his tight end.
Yeah, and Will Mallory kind of came on the scene last week. His first catch of this season was for a touchdown. And right here, Jeff Thomas draws so much attention to the back of the end zone that he just comes wide open. And that's a pass that, you know, it's a completion, but you want Sharon Williams to see him open sooner, get that ball to him on the run so he can turn upfield.
First and goal for Miami. DJ Dallas sidesteps the first tackler. Great job to stay on his feet. Get inside the 5-yard line. Gain of 5, second down.
That's a really good push by this offensive front. This offensive line struggled against Florida in week 1 and continued to improve each week. Came out in UNC, was a little bit better, and they shuffled around some pieces. They have 2 true freshmen starting. Right there you saw a good surge up the middle. DJ Dallas, some good yards on first down.
Dallas again. Defense closes in around him. Nice job by MJ Oliver. They're making the stop for a minimal gain. Maybe give him a yard. Miami methodical in this first drive of the game for them offensively. Started on their own 15. Now inside the Central Michigan 3. And a big third down.
Miami put a bunch of tight ends on the field. They're going big boy package, and a lot of times you'll go with your big boys, do a little play action pass, get a defense all jammed up in the middle, throw it outside.
Williams decides to give it to Dallas, picking his way towards the goal line, and he didn't get in. He's right on the doorstep, and the officials are going to mark it inside the 1, really on the 1-foot line. Troy Brown and company leading the charge for the Chippewas, but they'll bring up 4th down now. See Dallas here churning and burning, trying to get to that goal line. Doesn't quite get there.
No, he doesn't. And this is a big 4th down call. You're at the 1-yard line. You want to just plug it in there. I guess, you know, worst case scenario, you don't get it and you have the Chippewas backed up.
Williams again, the hand to Dallas, spinning his way into the end zone.
Really good second effort on that run by DJ Dallas. Looked like he was stopped initially and just did a bunch of spins, just spin moves. Press circle on your PlayStation controller. Get the end zone.
Ball backs in for the PAT. And the sophomore from Pasadena, Texas, splits the uprights. DJ Dallas powering his way on 4th down. Miami up early here in South Florida. Possession, Miami up 7-0 over Central Michigan here early at Hard Rock Stadium. Dallas carrying the ball for 20 of the 85 yards on that drive. Central Michigan going to get another opportunity here, see what they can do offensively. Just can't hold him back. He's too fired up right now.
The defense is ready to get back out on the field. That's what I see.
Bubba backs the drives that kick through the back end of the end zone. Central Michigan will take over on their own 25-yard line.
Central Michigan got to come out this series and they just got to keep on chipping away. They got to do a couple, of those same. They went to empty last series, go back to empty, get the ball out in the flag, get a couple chunk yards, and then look for them to take a play action and try to get the ball down the field. A lot of times when you see number 88, Pimpleton, in the slot, that's when you can run an inside fade, but I think they're going to need to get a couple chunk plays this series.
Moore looking at his left, trying to get that screen. Nothing doing. Michael Pinckney was right there to stop Khalil Pimpleton for a loss.
That was an awesome play by Pinckney. We talked about his instincts at the top of the game, and he was pulled out of the box by the tight end motion, and he saw what was happening to him. He saw his tight end go out and block the receiver, and he just slipped right in the jet stream. Big tackle for loss, and that's what makes these linebackers so good. They have the speed, but they can use it because of their ability to recognize an offensive play.
Lewis in the backfield, takes the handoff, stutter step, still moving the pile. That's a great individual effort. He picks up 5. Third and 10 coming up for Central Michigan in their second offensive possession of the game. Got the ball into Miami territory in their first. And they got behind the chains here this time around.
And if I'm David Moore, quarterback here, I want to find my top receiver, 88, Khalil Pimpleton. Know where he's at.
There's Lewis in motion coming out of the backfield. Moore over the middle, tried to find his taller receiver. That was Tyrone Scott, but Gervin Hall did a nice job of breaking that one up from the safety spot.
Yeah, and that's actually a really well-designed play because, as I was saying, Khalil Pimpleton crosses underneath on an underneath pattern. You'll see him from the left side of your screen come underneath right there, and that draws the linebacker up. And just a fantastic play on the back end by Gervin Hall. Get in and knock that ball away.
Brady Buell, an end-over-end punt. Fair catch by Jeff Thomas. We'll see the Canes back on offense again when we come back. Up 7. For Central Michigan, DJ Dallas scored their lone touchdown on the day in the first drive. Here he is spinning his way in. Good second effort.
Yeah, really good, and drove his legs. And yeah, that was a series that just highlighted what he can do. I mean, he broke 5 tackles on that one series down the field. And you look at his rankings, and he is, as you mentioned, one of the most underrated running backs in the game. And you look at that yards per rush. FBS rank is 20th, but actually out of all the running backs with 35 or more carries, he ranks 3rd in the FBS. So he is right up there with the best of them in terms of yards per carry, and he's doing it tonight.
That was Food Lions Food for Thought. Something for you to think about as the game progresses. Cameron Harris now at that spot, wide open down the middle. That's Brevin Jordan. He's down to the 30-yard line. A big pickup was 27 for the tight end that offensive coordinator Dan Enos compared to Hunter Henry Was it with the Chargers? That's high praise indeed. Chelsea, what do you got on Brevin?
Well, I got to spend a little time with him when we got into town the other day and was really impressed with him. And so were the coaches. They said Brevin is a guy that adds a lot to this tight end group. But last week, his number wasn't called as much, was in more on blocking. But they said he is the type of guy that just loves to play and adds a lot to a game like this.
Harris now bounces it outside. Brought down after a pickup of about 2.
Cameron Harris is a guy too. You know, once DJ Dallas goes out, Cameron Harris comes in, and they're very similar running backs. They're both explosive. They're both played downhill. And what I love about both these guys, they're able to make their cuts while still moving forward. Don't have to stop and go side to side.
Harris, a sophomore out of Opelika. Fake to him, now going to the end zone. Nice defensive play coming back on it by Kyron McKinney-Harper. That's the true freshman going against Jeff Thomas.
That is a tough task for a true freshman. You have blazing speed and Jeff Thomas coming down the field. And this concentration to get the ball up, you're taught as a defensive back, once you see the hands and eyes go to the football, just stick your hand in the pocket. And usually good things happen. He did it on that play. He didn't have to look back to see, because he knew the ball was going to be right between those 2 hands at number 4.
Both these Chippewa corners making their second career starts today. Yeah, Central Michigan jump, they'll blow it dead. We'll see if they were drawn off. First opportunity to hear from referee Jeff Heiser today.
Offsides, defense, causing the offensive player to move, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That'll make this 3rd down quite a bit easier. Open up the playbook a little bit for Dan Enos and this offensive staff for Miami. Coach McElwain unhappy about that. You can't beat yourself when you're trying to spring a big upset on the road.
No, you don't want to get beat in terms of penalties. You don't want to get beat on big plays. They've been good with the big plays so far, but got to limit penalties.
Thomas in motion. Give that time to Harris. Brought down shy of the 1st down marker. Troy Brown did a nice job of coming up from his linebacker spot. Looks like it'll bring up 4th down for Miami.
Yeah, really good play by Troy Brown. Troy Brown leads this defense with 24 tackles on the season. And watching the end of this play, he's able to defeat a blocker and stay low and get the wrap around the legs. It's a really good play about doing your job plus. Yes, I maintained my gap, but I also got off and made the tackle.
Manny Diaz opting to go for it again on 4th down. First drive, they were right down at the goal line. Now they're at the 22-yard line, 4th and 1. Williams back to pass. Over the middle. Knocked away, incomplete, and Central Michigan will take over. Andrew Ward, nice job of defending on the play. Diaz rolling the dice again. Defensive coordinator Rob Akey excited. Central Michigan takes over.
Timeout.
The Huddle, Friday at 8.
Nothing, but they had a big 4th down stand deep in their own territory, so they'll take over. And McElwain has had some pretty high-profile positions on his road to Mount Pleasant, hasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely has. And, you know, being in that offensive staff of Alabama and winning those 2 championships and then get the head coaching job, you know, he had success at Florida, but he was kind of pushed out, and he found himself at Central Michigan. He's excited about this opportunity with these men.
Ball start, offense, number 67, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
And again, he does not like that. First on the defensive side, now on the offensive side in terms of a 5-yard penalty, moving his team back. Spent a year last year on Coach Harbaugh's staff at Michigan, looking for that head coaching job, and he found it with Central Michigan. And he just loves coaching kids. He loves teaching kids and coaching them and seeing young men, kind of plucked from the muck of mediocrity, if you will, and turned into upstanding young men. And that's kind of what he's doing right now. Moore back to pass, fires one incomplete. Trying to hit Corey Sullivan. Al Blades Jr., though that's a name Miami fans will recognize, defending on the pass.
I've been talking to him about, what was his philosophy when he came into this Chippewa team that did not have a lot of success at all last year. He said, I'm giving everybody a clean slate. Everybody, from staff to players to strength coaches. I'm giving everybody a clean slate, and you're going to prove who you are and who you want to be through your actions. And what he sees from you in that time period, you're going to go play or not, whether you're coaching or not, or you can be on this Chippewa team.
More now the handoff up the middle. Nice run by Colby Lewis. Picking up a big chunk of that yards that they were set back with the penalty. It'll bring up a third manageable. And McElwain, you talk about how poorly they played last year. They were 1-11 last year, so they've already doubled their win total from last year. And to get a conference win last week in impressive fashion against Akron. I know it's Akron, but when you're coming off a 1-11 year, you just got to start winning games.
You have to start winning games, and you want to see something out of your offense. And you had a new quarterback, new running back, but their defense stood up tough. Only allowed 40 yards rushing against the Zips.
3rd and 5 now for the Chippewas. Colby Lewis after that 10-yard run, flanking Moore in the backfield. Send a tight end in motion. Moore looking to pass. Over the middle, has his receiver. Nice catch, and still on his feet is Sullivan. 17-yard gain, and Sullivan showing his athletic ability to move the chains.
Yeah, that was a fantastic catch in traffic by Sullivan. And look at the pocket. There's nobody near David Moore. There's nobody, and look at that lane. He's able to throw the ball high over the middle, and sometimes that gets risky, but when there was no post safety back there, that takes away that chance of a deflection and an interception.
Lewis again with the carry, looking for a hole. Not much of one there. Gang tackled after maybe a pickup of a yard. Pat Bethel and company for the Canes.
Well, I got to say, I'm, watching just a few series here, but watching last week, David Moore he has a poise about him in the pocket and his ability to navigate passing lanes. And it's one thing to not get pressured, but it's another thing to find the open window in the defensive front and throw the ball through that window to a receiver. And that takes a lot of time that is very difficult to gain, and that takes a lot of reps with receivers. He hasn't had those reps. He's still been so good in getting the balls in there to his really athletic receivers down the field.
And you saw that his numbers from his first career start last week against Akron. Now rolling the pocket out. He'll feel the pressure here and just throws it away. The old Gregory Russo was there coming off the edge, forcing the... Look at the size of Russo. I mean, that is at 6'6", 260. The freshman from Coconut Grove, Florida. I mean, this kid is big.
Right. And he doesn't even, he doesn't look big. You can tell he has a six-pack under that shirt right there. That boy, he's big, he's fast, he's strong, but, his athletic ability allows him to play on the outside at DN, on the inside at nickel package at nose tackle, and he caused a lot of problems for offensive fronts. And it's another big 3rd down, 3rd and long, 3rd and 9. We've seen the ball thrown to the taller receivers over the middle. Let's see if they continue that trend.
Colby Lewis out of the pocket, and David Moore didn't like what he saw, calling a timeout. So Coach, as they try and move the ball back into Miami territory, trailing by 7. There's Charlie Fry. Certainly Mac fans will remember him from his days at Akron. Had an NFL career with the Raiders, among some others, and now he's the offensive coordinator for this Central Michigan team. 3rd and 9 for the Chippewas. Lewis in motion out of the backfield. Moore steps up in the pocket, over the middle. Hits his receiver again inside now the 40-yard line. Another big play by this big receiving core. This time it was Tyrone Scott coming down with it.
This is a fantastic job by David Moore. Watch the way he sees his receiver and he puts it right on this receiver's left shoulder, away from the defender in the zone breaking. That's big-time quarterback play. You're not just getting it to your receiver, but when that receiver turns around, the quarterbacks are told whatever shoulder you put that ball on is the shoulder that your receiver will turn over when he goes upfield. So he puts it on his left shoulder, receiver turns over his left shoulder and gains extra yards for that 1st down.
Moore with the play fake. Wheel route, tried to hit his receiver Pimpleton downfield. That's going to be a pass interference play. Pimpleton was shoved out of bounds when he made his initial break, and then when he broke downfield.
Pass interference. Defense. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
And there's Finley, who mans that striker position. And that was a mismatch that was perpetrated by Central Michigan.
Yeah, you see the bottom part of your screen right here. Yep, that's jam while the ball is in the air. It's okay to do that if the quarterback hasn't released the ball yet. But the ball was already in the air when that contact was made. That's going to be pass interference.
Really, actually, a smart play by Romeo Finley because he was beaten on the route.
Well, and you saw right there, it shifted motion to get that matchup. Romeo Finley on the faster Khalil Pimpleton, and that's good play design by Central Michigan and Charlie Fry.
First down, Chippewas, play fake again. Now Moore going in the end zone, looking for Pimpleton again, just overshoots him. Irvin Hall, the better cover safety of both between Hall and Carter on the coverage.
Moore's getting up off the grass. You don't want to get your quarterback hit, but if he's going to get hit,
yeah, he just got touched.
Those little patty cake ones are all right. He was calling for a flag, but Shaq Quarterman, the veteran linebacker, he laid off.
You know he laid off because Moore might still be airborne. He really laid into it. Second down now for the Chippewas. Inside handoff. Lewis. He's mitting the hole, picks up a couple of yards. Quarterman is there again.
And another third down for this Chippewa offense, and you haven't seen Miami pressure much on third down so far this game. I would love to see some of these Miami linebackers get after this quarterback and go downhill. Played a lot of zone, and David Moore's just been picking apart Miami's zone. See if we get any pressure here.
Empty backfield again for the Chippewas. Now Colby Lewis comes in and flanks his quarterback. Moore steps up. Pressure comes, knocking the football out. It's a fumble. And it looked like the Canes jumped on top of it.
And that was Gregory Russo, who, as I mentioned earlier, he's playing D-end or he's playing inside. He lined up over the center on that one, forced that fumble, and recovered it.
He won't get that turnover chain, but he'll get another one.
Watch right here. He makes a great move and gets right around this guard. Right here, he gets that rip. And perfect positioning by that outside hand. You don't always have to tackle the quarterback, but if you can get the ball out, and he did get lucky because there was contact to the head. But look at him gloating with that turnover chain. Mr. 305 himself.
Reveling in the bling. Russo causing the fumble and recovering the fumble, getting the ball back to this offense. Now on the jet sweep. That's Mike Harley. Keeps his feet. Nice job just to roll and pick up another yard or two. 5 on the carry. Andrew Ward was there on the stop.
You're starting to see Miami's offense do these motions and shifts, and what their philosophy is, if we can get the defense adjusting and making different calls and reads pre-snap with our various formations, then we can get the matchups we want and dictate what our defense is going to be in, so we call the right offensive play to match it.
Williams. That's Thomas. Makes one man miss. Using his speed to get outside and get past midfield. Flag on the play late.
So that could be a holding at the point of attack on Brevin George.
In our final half minute of the first quarter here, let's get the call from our referee, Jeff Heiser.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist, number 3 against the offense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
That was Mike Harley on the outside.
Yeah, watch right here. Yeah, outside the tackle box. Cutting through the legs. Can't do that.
Coach Stubblefield there, his receivers coach, having a word with him down on the Miami sideline. Clock winding down, now inside 10 seconds. Miami pushed back to the second down and long. Promises to be the final play of this first quarter. Quick strike. Brian Hightower, and that'll end the first quarter. So Miami with some nice for the Canes.
Ooh, Spartan helmet.
Williams back to pass from the gun. Pressure coming, steps up, has time, over the middle. Dangerous pass to Quan Jamison was there to knock it down, defending for Central Michigan. Had all kinds of time, but you can't throw late over the middle, can you?
You can. Oh my gosh, if that wasn't knocked down. Watch number 19 right there on your screen. Oh, he has a beat on this ball. He was about to pick that one off, and I tell you what.
He was waiting for it.
Sharon Williams had some dropped interceptions last week, and that one could have been a pick right there if it wasn't broken up earlier.
Lou Headley, Miami's Australian punter, in. Puts a big leg into it. Driving Pimpleton all the way back to his 11-yard line. He'll receive it. Makes a few moves, gets out of trouble initially, but brought down at his own 13. 56 yards on the kick by Headley.
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know, a lot is made of a lot of punters from Australia, but you know, Australians actually kick the ball a little differently. They don't kick it in that tight spiral down the field. They kick it a little bit end over end, so it's sometimes, you know, it kind of boomerangs on you. Pimpleton did a good job of fielding that one. Yeah, I know.
From Australia. Central Michigan coming back onto the field. This offense, David Moore leading it. You look at what they did last year, really miserable on the offensive side of the ball. Much better through 3 games this year.
Yeah, you know, anytime you see worse in the FBS, that's not good.
That's miserable.
It's miserable. But they have done really well. And that is, remember, it's despite losing your opening day starting quarterback and opening day starting running back. These guys who have been fill in have done a really good job.
Moore with a lot of pressure. Gets it out with a flat. Hits his running back, Lewis, who picks up good yards on first down.
Those are those 2 guys right there who filled in. David Moore and Colby Lewis, it seems like they haven't left off at all, and that's got to be something great for Charlie Fry as a coach, because you're coaching a position. When you're in that meeting room, you're coaching running backs, you're coaching quarterbacks, and there shouldn't be too much of a drop-off because your expectations are for the position, not the player.
There's Charlie Fry in the sunglasses. Moore with the fake for Lewis. That's going to draw a flag, and it does. Ja'Cory Sullivan was the intended receiver, and Trajan Bandy was on his back.
Pass interference. Defense, number 2. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
I think this one was a good call. Also, left arm and Trajan Bandy just loop around the shoulder pads and twist the receiver. That's going to be called every single time, especially with the head lineman right there on the sideline.
Head linesman H on the back of his jersey. Make a note of it.
Been learning my positions for the officials.
Fresh set of downs for CMU. Moore gets pressure and gets rid of it. Boy, he saw big old number 56, Michael Pinckney, coming with a full head of steam. And he's down. He's staying down on the carpet, helped up by one of his offensive linemen. That's wincing a little bit, but looks like he's all right. Take another look. Boy, 56. Yeah, you better get rid of it.
Yeah, and so as a running back, when you're getting out too fast to the flat and you see a linebacker blitzing, you just got to turn your head around. That's David Moore wanted to just dump it to his back in the flat. He saw that the running back wasn't even looking at him. So you got to recognize that pressure and turn around and get the ball.
Chippewa's now 2nd and 10. That's Pimpleton. Minimal gain, picks up 3. Before Gervin Hall drops him.
Let's bring up another 3rd down. Central Michigan's been pretty good on 3rd down. It's interesting. I had thought they would be targeting Pimpleton a lot more on 3rd downs, but I think they feel like their size at the wide receiver position.
There's Pimpleton, the sophomore from the state of Michigan. Began his college career at Virginia Tech before transferring back closer to home. 3rd down and 7 now for Central Michigan.
2 tight ends in the game.
Moore's going to tuck it. Looking for that yard marker, and he gets it. Big hit. Ball comes out. The officials look like they're going to mark him down. Trajan Bandy was there to knock the football out.
Willing on the field with a fumble recovered by the defense. Miami ball, 1st and 10.
So the ruling on the field is that it was a fumble. McElwain may not agree with it. Let's take another look.
Yeah, I don't agree with it either. I think we'll see here as
Great effort.
Bandy goes low. Watch this ball hit the ground right there. Forearm down. Ground caused the fumble. So with the elbow touching down, that is going to be ruled down. And it should be a first down for Chippewas.
The ruling of a fumble recovered by the defense. That play is under further review.
Chris, are you seeing what I'm seeing on this?
Yeah, the football looks like right here. First the left arm goes down. Now the football hits the ground and it comes up.
Yeah.
The ground causing that football to come out. And our replay official, Bruce Parker, is obviously looking at this one now very intently. Right there.
Yeah.
That elbow hits anyways. Even if the ground doesn't cause that fumble, he still has possession when that right elbow right there hits the ground.
Yeah. That was a gutsy run.
Especially after coming up a little bit, wincing in pain on the play before after getting hit by Pinckney.
Yeah, we can look back at that Pinckney hit, and it looked like he was getting up a little gingerly. He might have just been getting his composure. Like, hey, I need a break. I might have to do run play next time.
He did pick up the necessary yardage for the first down if the call in the field is reversed. And there's a look at Coach McElwain on the left. His offensive coordinator Charlie Fry on the right with the glasses. Behind Steve Eiper. There's center making his 23rd straight start today. He's anchoring that offensive line. There's Manning on the right.
He talked about Eiper. Charlie Fry said this is the guy who makes it all happen. He makes all the calls for that offensive line. He's a leader in the room as a senior.
And they're not massive, you know, across that offensive line. 279, 281. 286, 285, 285.
Well, and you watch their feet. They're constantly moving, and their get-off is really good. Talk about the force that they inflict on the defensive line. Force is what? Mass times acceleration.
That's BC for you.
Absolutely. Well, when they get moving, then it makes them seem like they weigh more because they're able to output a greater amount of force on the defense.
What did you get your degree in at BC?
I was a marketing undergraduate, and then I got a master's in administration. I'm a double eagle.
After further review, the ball carrier is down at the 44-yard line. It will be 1st and 10. The ball be placed at the left hash. First down.
Folks here at Hard Rock not in favor of that decision. You and I think it was the right decision, and a gutsy call, a gutsy run by David Moore, rather, after coming up wincing after the last play.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was good vision. He saw that open running lane, and he sees the guys barreling down on him, and he just said, okay.
It is Trajan Bandy and Al Blades barreling down on him.
I've seen Trajan Bandy hit that boy smack.
So they move the chains again. Here's Lou Nichols. Power back in this Central Michigan stable. Picks up 4 yards. There's a look at Nichols. 5'10", 220-pound freshman, true freshman from Detroit.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. He's 18 years old.
Just. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I mean, that's really cool. And you think back to where you were at 18, Chris.
Yeah, I wasn't doing a whole lot of good. That's for sure. Moore back to pass. Has time. Now sprints out again. Crosses body. Finds Pimpleton, but it just bounces into his breadbasket. He had Pimpleton wide open, but he was moving to his right. That was a tough throw across his body.
And that's one that just tried to force in there. Pimpleton was so wide open. It wasn't a bad decision. We just got to get that front foot pointed forward to get the extra acceleration on the ball, and brings up another 3rd down. Last one was gained on quarterback's legs. Let's see what they decided this time. This 3rd down, Pimpleton is in the game. He's in the slot at the bottom of your screen.
3rd down for the Chippewas. Pump fake. Hits Pimpleton. Did he drop it?
He did.
He did. He had it in his hands. And he couldn't come down with it.
And it was a really great effort by him in general, spinning around. I mean, that's ridiculous. It could have potentially been a defensive holding on number 20, Robert Knowles, but it wasn't called, and gosh, he almost made that catch.
Randy Buell will be in once again to punt it away for the Chippewas. Jeff Thomas will let this one bounce. Takes the CMU bounce now inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. And that's where Miami will take over once again, up 7 here in South Florida. Here coming up after our game tonight, #1 Clemson taking on Charlotte in our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. It's also available on the ESPN app. As you see Coach Fry talking to his quarterback. Miami taking over here. But I'm going to get to this in just a second. This first play of this Miami drive, though, as they're looking to put something together. They had a really nice drive to open up the game. Sacked into the end zone. Fumble comes loose.
That could be a safety.
Miami, the ball's still loose. The Canes are going to come up with it.
They're going to call that a safety.
Robbie Stewart falls on it for Central Michigan, and it's a safety.
The ruling on the field is a safety.
Sharon Williams was popped.
The ruling of a safety is under further review.
They're going to review this play, but look at Williams with the play fake here.
I want to see if his arm's coming forward.
Big old Robbie Stewart lays him out. Larry Hodges looked like he might have been there to be able to fall on the football, and Williams wasn't feeling it after that hit. You got to watch that helmet there, Stewart.
Yeah, there's a lot of
into Williams. That's one thing to keep an eye on.
There's a lot of things to look at here. We're going to see, is Williams' arm coming forward? It looks like it is coming forward with the ball in his possession.
And is that a helmet-to-helmet hit? Look at 71 here, Stewart.
And to me, gosh, you know, that looks like it could be a targeting call. And he doesn't necessarily launch into Williams, but see right here, real speed, what this looks like.
That is part of the review, by the way, whether a call was targeting or not, even if it was not made on the field.
There definitely is an indicator. You know, when we talk about it, when we review for targeting, got to ask ourselves a couple questions. Is there an indicator? I mean, was there forcible contact, a launch, a thrust from the crouch, lowering their head?
So let's break this down into a couple of pieces. First of all, Stewart's hit on Sharon Williams.
Right there, and that, so that's going to be leading with the helmet.
He doesn't lower himself, he doesn't launch himself, but he does lead with the helmet, and he hits the player that he's tackling first with his helmet.
It's going to be interesting how they determine this rule, because the crown of the helmet isn't necessarily the top of the helmet.
Let's take a look at the real speed here. The second part of this, what's reviewable, is whether his arm was going forward or not.
So in my opinion, I think
after further review, the quarterback's right arm was moving forward during the process of a throwing a pass. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. It will be second down and 10. Please reset the game clock to 11:51.
No targeting on the play.
No.
So Robbie Stewart is fortunate in that regard. Unfortunate in that he had a forced fumble taken away, and when all is said and done, it's an incomplete forward pass. And Sharon Williams, although he's probably not feeling very well right now, gets another crack at it here on second down. DJ Dallas dancing around in the backfield, but can't make anything happen.
wow.
He's going to get brought down after a 3-yard loss. It's a Miami team that, you know, I just mentioned at the start of this drive. First drive of the game, right down the field, DJ Dallas scored. It looked like, hey, Miami is doing what they're supposed to do, taking care of business at home. But since then, they went for it on 4th down again, didn't make it in the next possession. They've been flat since.
They have been flat, and flat's a great word for it, because, you know, it seems like, and, you know, making assumptions is not a good thing to do, but it seems like Miami should be way farther ahead than they are. But they are playing flat and not explosive. And Central Michigan is capitalizing on that.
3rd down, high snap. Williams goes up to get it, has time. Now the pocket collapsing around. Now he's brought down in the end zone.
That is going to be a safety.
No ruling from the officials yet. Jock Bristol was there to bring him down. The officials still conferring it. Why won't they give us a signal?
Ruling on the field is the quarterback was down and did not get the ball beyond the line. Therefore, it is a safety.
Now we get the signal from Jeff Heiser. It is a safety. Again.
Wow. Watch this, and just look at that fight by Central Michigan's defensive front. And right here, yep. His backside hits the ground in the end zone, and watch where the ball is, see if it crosses the line. Yeah, no. It's not across the plane.
Now, how about this guy right here, Jock Bristol, true freshman from Sarasota, Florida. You think he's like a lot of those MAC players, got a little chip on his shoulder? Maybe he wasn't offered by Miami. Maybe he wasn't offered by Florida or Florida State or Central Florida.
Heck yeah. Jock Bristol, welcome home, man. You know, his family's watching this game. And how about that? I mean, you come out and to be able to have the mental fortitude as a defense to get a big play, like you think it's going to be a fumble for a safety in the end zone, and then it's overturned, they come back out, and you just go right back out and do it again. And I think that's what we talk to Jim McElwain about, just play each play. Play the next play. Don't worry about the big grand scheme of things. And I think that you're watching Miami, and you're watching them look for something to get them energized. And Central Michigan's energized from within. They have a little bit of that fire and chip on your shoulder that you're talking about, and they are showing it. They only got 2 points, but boy, when you get 2 points from your defense, that gets you fired up.
Backs it out, kicks off to Montre Braswell. He'll take it to 12. 30. Spins away before being brought down at the 36. Central Michigan now will take over. Lots of laundry now on the field. This looks to have occurred after the whistle.
Interesting. I saw a couple of Hurricanes players run into each other. Just, I wonder if they were pushed into each other. See the top of the screen. Yeah. You see Jimmy Murphy get pushed into his teammate. That's going to be after the whistle.
These officials having a rather lengthy conversation about it.
Trying to figure out who the infraction's on.
After the play was over, personal foul, receiving team number 11, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And there's McElwain having a conversation with Ja'Cory Sullivan. Guilty of the infraction. You just got a big momentum play. You're in decent field position on the road. And another penalty. We talked about the offsides and the false start penalties earlier in the first quarter. Now they get one here in the second. It's going to move him back.
Yeah, it's going to move him back. And, that, to me, that was an effort penalty. And you got to hear the whistle blow, but coach has already said, play through the whistle. Well, he played a little bit too long.
To the echo of the whistle. Lou Nichols. He picks up maybe 3 yards on first down. Clock ticking down, close to 10 minutes left here in this first half. As I mentioned earlier, Miami took their first drive of the game. They deferred on the opening kickoff. Went on defense first, stopped Central Michigan, took the ball after the punt, went 85 yards for a score. Since then, we really haven't seen much from them offensively, other than the fact that on that last series, Williams was tackled in the end zone for a safety. Moore steps up. Pimpleton drops it.
Pimpleton had a lot of running room there, too. And it's 3 drops for CMU so far, and 2 by Pimpleton. Another third down and long. They've been pretty successful on these. But those are types of plays, the big penalty on the return and then a couple drop passes. Those are types of things that are the reason why you're still trailing in this game. Yes, you might have the fire and the energy. And although your quarterback's playing well, you cannot have those drops. This would be huge for both sides of the ball in this play.
3rd and 7. Canes come with pressure from just 4, and Moore is forced to throw it away. We got a flag, though, near the quarterback.
And could be illegal hands to the face on defense. Looked like possible.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense, number 97, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And here he is right in front of you right here. Watch that hand get up under the face mask. And it's okay to touch him there, but you can't extend it. He did on that play, and that's going to be costly. He's going to give Central Michigan another chance on first down.
4 penalties for 50 yards now against Miami. It extends this drive. Empty backfield for CMU. Lewis in motion here near side. Moore underneath, can't connect with his tight end.
Good break by Robert Knowles on that pass. Trying to get it to his big 6'7" tight end. These tight ends for Central Michigan, I gotta say, I don't know if I've seen stats like this. You got Tony Poljan, number 85, 6'7", 255. Only to be matched by number 86, Bernard Raymond, 6'7", 245. He's got to be big.
Poljan's a former quarterback. 2nd and 10. Hand off inside, going nowhere. Trayvon Hill, everybody in that interior defensive line active on that play for the Canes. Loss of 1.
Shaq Quarterman gets his pads down and underneath the blocker. And watch him dip and fill that hole right there and stop for no game. Shaq Quarterman's a guy who can give a spark to this defense. And we know once Miami's defense gets going, everything follows.
3rd down and 11.
Showing pressure up the middle.
Moore.
Be a free play.
Feels the pressure. Escapes it. Now throws downfield. Hits his receiver. Pimpleton takes a huge hit and hangs on. We've seen Pimpleton drop a few uncontested. Well, he got rocked by Gervin Hall and hung on to that one. Flag on the play, we'll check it, but what an individual effort by Gervin or by Pimpleton to hang on.
Offsides, defense, that penalty's declined. Results of the play, first down.
First Moore keeping the play alive and then finding Pimpleton who hung on. Look at him step over his offensive lineman.
Ooh, when you hear the crowd, they heard it and felt it. That was a free play due to the encroachment and kept the play alive, shot downfield. And Colby Lewis is just keeping his feet grinding forward. Looked like he was down and just kept moving.
Churning for 7 yards.
We have a man down in the middle of the field.
A hurricane down.
Ooh, and
that's Michael Pinckney, who was checking up on his teammate linebacker pal Michael Pinckney. These three have been playing together at that linebacker spot, McLeod, Pinckney, and Quarterman, since their freshman years. Let's check out 56 here for Miami.
See if we can see right here. See as this play develops. Oh, sorry, he was right down here.
He came up holding that right arm, and he went into the medical tent. You saw him come out, so that's good news from the Canes. But right now, he is not in the game, and that's bad news for the Canes because Central Michigan's moving.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Central Michigan moves back, and Pinckney's back in, so that's great news because the way he was holding that arm when he was coming off initially, you're worried about a break. You're worried it might be more serious than it was.
Foul was on number 56.
But good news for Cane fans to see number 56 for Miami back in. As we go back to scrimmage, 2nd down and 8 now for the Chippewas. Moore. Out in the flat, Pimpleton, can he make a man miss? Stays on his feet, picks up maybe 3 yards. Gervin Hall did a nice job of breaking down and bringing him down.
Yeah, really good open field tackle by Gervin Hall. Kept good leverage on the receiver and didn't shoot at the guy, just kind of let him work into him. And sometimes you get that stiff arm to the face and not be able to handle it, but he knocked it down, made the tackle, and now it's 3rd down again. for Central Michigan.
50% on the game from third down. 4 of 8 for the Chippewas. Moore gets the play from the sideline. Colby Lewis will line up in the backfield. Moore back to pass again. Pimpleton makes the grab and breaks free. Spins out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. A first down for Central Michigan. Flag on the play again near the quarterback. Lots of flags in this first half.
There is no foul for roughing the pass, and the player was blocked into. Results of the play is a first down.
So they'll pick up that flag. Pimpleton, nice catch and run.
And we'll look at this here. Yeah, you saw at the end of the play, little contact on the quarterback late, determined the player was blocked into the quarterback. So if you're blocked into the quarterback, you're not going to get called for roughing because it's not your fault. A great play by Khalil Pimpleton to break the tackle and get the first down. And again, Chip wasn't driving.
Now Pimpleton in motion. Moore tries to throw back across the grain. Outstanding job by Quarterman to smell that one out. He had Lewis out into the flat, but Quarterman was there to bring him down. 4-yard loss.
That's really, really good play. Watch, he's the lone linebacker in the middle of your screen, and he has number 4 man-to-man. He sees him leaking back out. Man, what great recognition. Chippewas were trying to flow everything over to the right and do one of those, oh, shoot screens to the running back coming back the other way. Did not fool the seasoned vet, Quarterman. He's got 42 starts under his belt, 43 now. He's seen that one before.
10th play of this drive now for Central Michigan. Moore again to pass. Pressure coming out the middle. Fumble.
Jonathan Garvin got to the quarterback, got the ball out. Let's see.
Miami's got it.
That's Pat Bethel who comes up with the football. And that's exactly what Miami Hurricanes needed to get this spark going. That's going to be a turnover chain. We'll see who gets to wear it.
That looks like big old Pat Bethel falling on the football.
He's saying, give me that turnover chain, and looking for that hardware. Absolutely great sack, strip, and cover the fumble.
Fumble, getting the football back to Miami. But look at the Canes. Started the game, 85-yard drive for a score. Nothing since. Really has been Central Michigan, but not being able to put any points on the board other than defensively with the safety. Quick strike out here to Mike Harley. Minimal gain of 3 on first down for Miami. If nothing else, just to get some confidence for Sharon Williams to get that feeling back to moving the football forward.
Yeah, you want to get a couple good completions, and sometimes those come in the form of quick slants or bubble screens or little dip offs to your running back, but you got to get some completions, the ball downfield.
Play fake to DJ Dallas. Williams now running over the top, just had to let it go. Pressure being applied by DeAndre Dill.
They tried to take one of those shots on that play with the big play action. They had big personnel, 1 running back and 3 tight ends in the game, tried to get everybody sucked up, but Central Michigan wasn't threatened, and it's interesting that they're not feeling threatened by this run game. Sometimes to open up the pass, you got to give the ball to DJ Dallas and let him do some stuff on the ground to move the safeties up into the box.
Hard Rock Stadium quiet. 3rd and 8 now for Miami. Williams steps up into the pocket. Now rolls out to his right. He'll tuck it and run it. Puts his shoulder down and picks up the first down.
Decision-making was prime for Williams this offseason, and he sees everybody covered. He knows he can get the first down with his legs. I love the way he stared at his quarterback as he made progress up the field to keep the defender at bay and picks up the first down.
Canes now inside Central Michigan territory. Dallas met in the backfield. He'll be brought down. Loss of 3 on the play. Boy, Laquan Johnson just met him. He's been active. He applied pressure to the quarterback a couple of plays ago. Now in the backfield, dropping Dallas for a loss.
That is teach tape on how to set the edge of a defense. Watch him right here. Watch him extend his arms out, press back, shed off, and make the tackle. That's NFL coaches are going to watch that and say, this guy can use his hands, play with extension, get off the block. That was a really, really big play by Laquan Johnson.
Fumble the football, the snap. Jeff Thomas was in motion, and the center snapped the ball in the shotgun, and it hit Thomas while he was in motion.
You know what's crazy? I was watching.
Now Booper's coming out here at Hard Rock.
I was watching last week's game, Bethune-Cookman. There was a couple times where he was very close. Like, the snap was just barely missing Jeff Thomas on his motion. And I was wondering, I said, yo, that's almost too close for comfort. Well, that could have been super costly, and Jeff Smith has to just sprint past to get that timing correct.
3rd and long for this Miami offense, who is really bogged down. Williams back to pass, has time, now steps up. He's going to take off and run with it, but he'll be brought down way short of the 1st down.
And the crowd's booing again. You see the Central Michigan coaches on the sideline calling for what is known as a punt safe look, just in case there's any type of fakes with the ball their side of the 50. So you see the defense still out in the field.
Ooh, Headley, bad snap. He can't handle it. Initially, he's going to have to get it off quickly, and he does. Pimpleton lets it bounce. It takes a great Miami bounce. They'll down it inside the 5. Better be lucky than good. Flags all over the field. What is going on? Headley getting congratulations from his teammates. He couldn't have done that any better after he couldn't handle the snap. The officials again talking things over.
Illegal formation. Offense, number 20 was not on the line of scrimmage, putting more than 4 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Robert Knowles guilty of lining up incorrectly for Miami. So even when you get lucky and you get a great break, it doesn't work in your favor right now. None of the breaks right now are going Miami's way.
Yeah, in terms of that call, you're just like a regular offensive set. You can't have more than 4 players not on the line of scrimmage or in the backfield. They lined up incorrectly. And it's funny, after that punt, you saw probably the biggest cheer of the game. And it wasn't necessarily because of the punt. It was because of who downed it, number 29, Jimmy Murphy. He's a guy who scored a touchdown last week, and these Canes fans and the teammates absolutely love him.
The Aussie Lou Headley will try it once again. This time the snap is much smoother, but the ball is partially blocked. And will be down at the 37-yard line. Laquan Johnson again. Number 11 for Central Michigan is all over the field. And they pick up about 35 yards of field position in that transaction. Central Michigan has all the momentum. They take over on the offensive end. Dorian, your donation is going to support Red Cross preparation, response, and recovery efforts in the United States and the Bahamas. And let's not forget about the folks dealing with all the issues in Southeast Texas right now. Just go to redcross.org/ESPN or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to donate. Back in action here, Colby Lewis on the carry, picked up maybe a yard on 1st down. Clock winding down in what has been a very strange 1st half. Miami opened up the scoring on their opening offensive drive. They haven't really done anything offensively since. Created a couple of turnovers to keep Central Michigan off the scoreboard offensively. Only a safety for the Chippewas, getting them on the board. Now Moore flushed out of the pocket. He's going to get brought down. Trayvon Hill, the transfer from Virginia Tech, brings him down for a big loss.
Really good sack by Trayvon Hill. He's able to kind of hide. He hides in right here behind another defender and sneaks out as the quarterback rolls out to his left. And good thing he did, because Pimpleton was running down the sideline wide open. David Moore just couldn't see him because he had big Trayvon Hill in his face. And we have 3rd down and 2 sticks, meaning 3rd down and farther than than both the chains.
Long way to go here for the Chippewas. Hand off to Lewis. He'll pick up what he can, about 6-7 yards. Shaq Quarterman downfield to bring him down. It'll bring him 4th down. And with 3 timeouts left to go, Miami is going to use one of them.
Charge timeout. Miami, they're first. 30 seconds.
Don't miss The Huddle, our signature football show hosted by Jack Collinsworth with analyst Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, and Mark Richt. They'll preview the weekend slate of games and keep you updated on all things ACC football. Next Friday at 8 o'clock Eastern and Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. And I mentioned the fact that Miami was moving the ball early. Since then, nothing. And Central Michigan's just kind of been hanging in there, but they haven't been able to get to the end zone.
Yeah, and kind of what doesn't show up in those stats is the field position battle. And due to the blocked punt and the missed 4th down conversion, the Chippewas have had better field position in this game, and it's one of the reasons why they have 2 points on the board.
We'll see if Brady Buell can flip the field here, punting for Central Michigan. Spiral drives. Thomas back now. He receives it inside his own 15. Stiff arm to get free. And he'll be knocked out at the 30-yard line. Sharon Williams has really faced a lot of pressure all day from this Central Michigan defense.
Yeah, and he's drawn Sharon Williams off his spot right here. You have the big hit in the end zone that was a safety, then called back, and now here gets the actual safety. And this Chippewa defensive front has been able to disrupt passing routes downfield, but also close those throwing windows. So Sharon Williams has to hold onto the ball longer, and allows the defensive front to get there. And they haven't really blitzed much. It's been that front 4 on the defensive line.
2 timeouts, 1:11 for Miami on the board. Williams quickly over the middle. Complete. Into Central Michigan territory goes Brian Hightower. Just what the Canes needed on 1st down. Williams again. Pressure coming from the outside. He'll be sacked. Sean Adesanya came in and brought him down.
Charge timeout. Miami, they're second.
That was a really good job by Sharon Williams to just hold on to the ball. But look at Adesanya. He's right here on the side of your screen. Watch him get around true freshman Zion Nelson and get to the quarterback and almost got the ball out, but Sharon Williams did a great job of holding on to it so it wasn't a fumble.
Second runoff does not apply because the timeout was charged to Miami, which is the same teammate for the injury.
Yeah, DJ Scaife was shaken up on the play there, right tackle. But since Miami already called a timeout, no runoff.
Zion Nelson is a guy who, the true freshman, his first start of his career against Florida down in the swamp, and really struggled. He's been playing better as of late. That was an experienced senior. Adesanya, and kind of right around that corner.
Williams again, pressure coming from the corner. He gets brought down again in a fumble. Ball still loose, and Central Michigan looks like they've got it in. They do. Almost a replay of the play we just saw.
It's exactly the same play. That's exactly what happened. And we're going to watch. I'm going to show you this replay again. It's going to be exactly what I just drew. Right here on the edge, coming around, number 2 on number 60, and there's just no chance. Swipe the arms down. This time he did get the ball out for the fumble. Right here, just a really good pass rush move to knock the arms down. 2-hand swipe. That's something that you take in. You bring that into your game. You take that to the next level, and you get paid a lot of money coming off that defensive edge.
Now Bristol has a safety and a fumble recovery for Central Michigan. There's Adesanya getting congratulations from his teammates. Now the focus shifts to the Central Michigan offense. They've got 47 seconds, and they've got the ball 1st down and 10 inside Miami territory. Moore back to pass, has time. Downfield, just overshoots his receiver.
Talk about Adesanya and his play last week too. You know, he had last week, he had 5 tackles, 2 sacks, 4.5 tackles for a loss, and an interception for a touchdown. He's following a huge game last week with a great game this week as well.
Of note, Central Michigan's kicker Ryan Tice is on the Luke Rosa watch list. He's got 50 yards inside his quiver. So if Central Michigan can pick up another first down or so, they might be able to trot out Tice for a field goal try. Empty backfield. Lewis split wide right. Moore back to pass again. Has time. Pocket collapsing. He's going to throw this one out of bounds.
And he had Keonta Dixon on the sideline. He just wasn't able to see him early enough and throw it away, which is a good, smart play. You don't want to force it into coverage, but now we have a big 3rd down, and Miami has not blitzed barely at all this game. Be interesting to see if they think that their perimeter defenders can match up man-to-man on Central Michigan's wide receivers and bring pressure up the middle with some of these linebackers.
Play clock now inside 5 seconds. 2 seconds. Central Michigan gets the play off. Moore with the pressure. He's sacked by Bandy.
Charge timeout. Miami. This is their 3rd and final timeout. 30 seconds.
Trajan Bandy comes off the bottom of your screen. Really good job by David Moore to hold on to the ball, because Trajan Bandy was coming like an absolute missile. And that is a hard-hitting cornerback. And, you know, Miami, they did kind of what I thought. They brought some pressure not up the middle, but off the edge, and it worked out well. And that's going to knock any field goal chances, obviously, out the window. Forced a punt.
So Miami called timeout after that sack to preserve a little bit of clock. There's 24 seconds left in this first half. They're forcing the Chippewas to punt. See if Jeff Thomas can make something happen on the back end. Bull gets it away. It's a good punt, angling toward the sideline. Thomas won't have an opportunity, and with 18 seconds left, Miami will take over at their own 18. Coming up, the State Farm halftime report. Wake Forest, they look good early on this season. They rolled again today. The competition gets a little bit tougher next week, but they're looking sharp. Pitt, they're playing really well against UCF. Maybe even an upset in the making. And Syracuse, a lot of points on the board in the Carrier Dome. What else would you expect? They came bouncing back. They got a tough one against Western Michigan today. Kane's getting a tough one against Central Michigan here. Dallas. Kane's opt to keep it on the ground. He picks up about 5 yards on first down. Clock winding down. It looks like Manny Diaz and company are satisfied to just take this one into the locker room and talk it over.
That was an interesting timeout, you know, after that last play before the punt. Maybe they were hoping to get a big return or something.
Maybe a block too. Once it didn't happen.
Backs more time to get the ball downfield, and also they got to start going back to the running game. Neither team did very well rushing the ball in the first half, and a guy, DJ Dallas, who we thought would be really explosive on the ground, only had 22 yards first half.
Tice kicking off, and Jeff Thomas puts the knee down in the end zone. Miami will take over on the 25. Kelsey, you spoke to Coach McElwain.
I did. You know, you guys just talked about the defense. I asked him about his guys' defensive performance in the first half. He said they did a good job of keeping the ball in front of them. I also asked him what his message to the guys was in the locker room, and he just kind of looked at me, smiled, and he looked around, and he said, go out and have a good time. Enjoy it. This is fun. We'll see what happens in the second half. So right now, I think feeling pretty good about where his team stands, and we'll see what they're able to do against Miami here in the second half.
Yeah, Kelsey, it says a lot about who the pressure is on here in the second half. The end around quickly, trying to make something happen. Miami with D. Wiggins, and Andrew Ward is there to stop it for a loss. Central Michigan was able to put consistent pressure on Sharon Williams all first half long.
Yeah, they were the backfield all day, getting hits on the quarterback and getting a safety. It was huge, put points on the board. But then when it came down to these 3rd and longs, they got to the quarterback by rushing 4. They were able to drop back in the zone, force Sharon Williams to hold the ball, and they got the ball out.
Empty backfield now for Williams. Dallas comes out here, split wide right, back to pass, fires it over the middle. That's complete. Nice completion to Mike Harley. Big gain on 2nd down is going to move the sticks.
Good focus by Mike Harley to hold on to that ball. There's some hands in the throwing window. Watch here, number 11 drop out and almost get a tip on the ball, but really, really good concentration by Mike Harley, seeing the ball all the way into his body and getting upfield to get some extra yards.
Williams back to pass, pressure gets to Dallas. He's got blockers in front of him. Inside the 40. Knocked out of bounds at the 20, flags down on the play. 35 yards on the catch and run for Dallas, but this one could be coming back.
Yeah, I think it is. By the reaction of Brevin Jordan after the play, he might have been the accused party.
Holding. Offense number 65. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Corey Gaynor, the center downfield.
Yeah, watch him leading the way here, 65 out in front. And a lot of times when you get a small on a big, you don't want to man him up as a defender. You want to try to make a move, because once the big man's hands get outside of his shoulder frame, you get a lot of holding calls, and really good job by the defender. I would have liked to seen him force the ball back inside, but got the holding call called, and still a big gain, but not as big as it could have been.
Yeah, because of the holding call downfield, it'll bring up oddity. 1st and 1 for Miami. So a lot of options here in the playbook. Gaines in the pick of the first down. Cameron Harris will do just that.
They did just get one. And Chris, you talk about a lot of options in the playbook, and when you have like a 2nd and short because of a penalty, or you have a 1st and short because of a penalty, basically you've got 3 plays to pick up the first down. I would have loved to seen them have a play action pass, hard play action, throw the ball deep down the field, maybe get Jeff Smith the ball down. And KJ Osborne hasn't had a reception today. Maybe find the ball in his hands, but they have to pick up the first down on the run.
It's a team that only had 6 first downs in the entire first half. So here's Brevin Jordan rather open inside the 25 down to the 23.
Brevin Jordan found a hole in that zone. A lot of times when you get a cover 3 coverage, you get an opening in the middle of the field because the linebackers are vacated. He found his way right in behind. Sharon Williams got him the ball. Nice catch and run by Brevin Jordan.
Kane's now back in the red zone. Seems like forever since we last saw him there. Now Jordan in motion. Pitch out. Good hard running. Cameron Harris picks up 4 yards on first down.
And we're seeing kind of a different look out of this Miami offense. They're playing a lot of 2 tight end sets right now, trying to get the ball in the hands of the running backs. It's been successful to methodically get downfield. You know, I think that shows not a ton of confidence in Sharon Williams to be able to drop back and get the ball out. They have 3 wide receivers in now. Let's see if this is an option play or an RPO.
Fake to Harris. Receiver fell down. Looks like he might have been forced down. Thomas was the intended receiver. He was brought down. We got a flag right on the spot.
Pass interference, defense. Number 5, ball replaced at the spot of the foul. First down.
Devontae Reed guilty.
And the argument by the defender is, you know, what am I supposed to do? The ball wasn't thrown yet, but I think that, you know, due to the timing, the ball had just left the quarterback's hands when contact was made, and if you are planted in a spot, the wide receiver cannot run through you, but if you're moving into his path, you got to give him free lane to run the route.
First and goal. Cameron Harris crashes through the line, picks up maybe 3.
On that penalty, you think about it kind of like a charge in basketball. If you have your ground, the guy can't just run right over you. That'd be offensive pass interference. But if you move into his route lane, then it's on the defense.
Hoping his defense can stand again. Disastrous quarter in that second quarter for Miami. It's a nice drive to open up the third. Corner of the end zone, touchdown. There's KJ Osborne. He was waiting to call his name all game long, and now we finally get the chance.
These are one of the routes that they tell the quarterback, hey, we got one-on-one. We like this matchup. Just throw the ball and let him make a play. It was tight coverage. But KJ Osborne does a great job of gaining separation while the ball's in the air and coming down the pass.
Baxa converts the PAT. Miami starts the second half the way they started the game. Long drive for a score. KJ Osborne, the transfer from Buffalo. Warmer skies and the score to start the second. Knows where they store it. That dude is stacked. 6 feet, 205 pounds. A transfer from SUNY Buffalo on the touchdown end of that reception from Sharon Williams, giving this Miami's offense a little bit of a spark. First time in a long time we've seen it. Williams 4 for 4 for 72 yards, by the way, on that last drive.
Yeah, and they're pumping in sound to this stadium right now and trying to get this crowd fired up. And you see the Miami players on the sideline, they're fired up. That's good to see because they haven't had much of a spark on the sideline all happen. KJ Osborne might be one to give it to him. Look at that big man dancing. I love when the big men get involved in the dance game. Got a backstroke happening. I don't know about that move.
CMU taking a knee. They'll scrimmage from the 25-yard line. ACC Network grants you an all-access pass into Notre Dame women's basketball as the team prepares for the upcoming season. You'll get never-before-seen footage and sounds from head coach Muffin McGraw. All the coaches and the players Sunday at 9 o'clock Eastern right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. Both teams offensively challenged, especially in that second quarter. In the first half, we saw what Sharon Williams was able to do in Miami's first possession here in the second half. Let's see what David Moore can do.
And David Moore has shown great poise, even though he's been pressured a lot. He can maintain that this second half.
The hand to Lewis. Dances around, can't find much room, though. Maybe picks up a couple of feet. Romeo Finley is there from the striker position.
Miami's defense has been really sound, stopping the run, relying on their big boys up front to get pressure on the quarterback. Although we talk about David Moore and his poise, he has had so much pressure on him. Sometimes that poise doesn't matter in the pocket if you're unable to throw the ball downfield.
Moore pocket collapses around and gets it off to Pimpleton. Does what he does best. That's run after the catch. First down, Central Michigan.
And that's something we need to see from Pimpleton if Central Michigan wants to have success in this half. He dropped too many passes in the first half that could have been explosive plays. Right there, you see him hang on to it. And David Moore got hit again, landed on the ground, but able to get the ball to his receiver in stride to turn upfield. 7 receptions for him on the day. He leads all receivers with 2 drops.
A little breathing room for the Chippewas. New set of downs. Moore. Nice job defensively. He was able to get Corey Sullivan, but DJ Ivey there to drop him right in his tracks.
And DJ Ivey and Al Blades Jr., the 2 guys that came into camp battling for that cornerback position. And DJ Ivey missed the first game and has really played solidly since coming back and makes a really good tackle on that one. And these corners are young. He's only a sophomore, but playing really, really well on the outside.
Fullback Wichkowski in motion. Pressure coming. Gets it to a tight end. Nice defensive play again. Romeo Finley, that striker back. He was there up for the challenge.
Flag in the defensive backfield.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the defense, number 20, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And there you see Manny Diaz giving it to Robert Knowles. Just had two really nice defensive plays to set up Central Michigan here on the road, the underdog in the 3rd and long, and Knowles gives them a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, Miami had 5 penalties in the first half that resulted in 55 yards of penalty yardage, but an even bigger number was the fact that it gave the Chippewas another chance, gave them more first downs on penalties, kept the drives alive.
Moore over the middle. Holjan. Another first down for the Chippewas.
Miami came back with that pressure off the side with Trajan Bandy that got to the quarterback first time. David Moore saw it coming this time and hit his target. Big number 85 over the middle, 6'7". If you can just get the ball out in front of him, he can be in between the ball and the defender, bring that catch in, turn upfield, have a first down.
Hand off to Nichols. He ain't going anywhere. Loses a yard.
Sometimes when your offense is in a little bit of a rut, which both offenses were in that second quarter, you want to come back out and just take whatever the defense is giving you. And whether the defense is giving you penalty yardage or the defense is giving you pressures, you can replace the pressure with the ball. That's what both offenses have done. And right now you're seeing the drive that Central Michigan is putting together. And David Moore is taking what the defense is giving them, not trying to force anything. Second and long right here, got to get back on track.
Loss of 2 on the play, 12 yards to gain. Pick up a first down. Moore has all kinds of time going in deep. Receiver just can't quite get it. Pinckney was covering Colby Lewis out of the backfield on that wheel route. Pinckney did a nice job getting back in coverage.
Yeah, really, really good job. This is very difficult at the linebacker position. You have the running back moving outside, and he gets into a bunch. A lot of times you want to work over top of the bunch, but Pinckney has such good speed that he can funnel right in behind. And David Moore needs to get the ball out in front of his running back so he can use that speed. Pinckney found himself in that trail position, and right now, Central Michigan is behind the sticks. Need a big play on this 3rd down to keep the drive alive.
3rd down and 12. Moore again out. Dangerous pass. Knowles was breaking on the football and just couldn't quite catch up with it, but neither could the Central Michigan receiver.
There were 2 receivers for the Chippewas in the same location. Looks like there was a busted route, which is probably why there was a defender in that passing lane. And right now, you talked about
the
Tice. Kicker.
He's going to try a 54-yard field goal.
This is a big one.
He's perfect 4 for 4 on the year. And I mentioned he's on the Groza watch list. He's got a leg. He's got the distance, but it's wide left. Coach McElwain applauding his offense and the effort by his kick.
In Extra Yard for Teachers Week, an annual celebration led by the College Football Playoff Foundation that honors great teachers across the country. To learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers, follow College Football Extra or search the hashtag Extra Yard Week. And as we come back into action here, we want to talk about Miami linebackers Zach McLeod, his mother Victoria. She works for the Palm Beach County Schools in the Department of Early Childhood Education. I got a chance to spend a little time with Zach, and he told me that she instilled great traits in him, always pushed him to do more. and called it tough love. Now, McLeod took that, and he's done a lot with it. He's been a member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee since arriving at Miami. He's worked as a mentor with big brothers and big sisters as well. One of the things he told me that he learned, not just from his mom, but from his parents, is that when you have an opportunity like he does at Miami, he says he has a brand on his chest. He's not the brand, but he does have a brand, that you can use it, and that's something that he's trying to do here.
Great to see Zach's mom, teacher in the stands here, cheering on her son. Saw on first down that Williams was off target trying to find his receiver. Now on second down, we see that B.J. Dallas brought down by Gage Kresge for a loss. This Central Michigan defense isn't taking a backseat to anybody.
No, they're flying around. You saw the incomplete pass, the play before them flying and knocking the ball out. And they're fired up. This defense knows that they are getting after Miami's offense. The scoreboard looks like they haven't been able to be too successful with 14 points, but only allowing 14 points is really good against a potent Miami offense with big play potential.
Well, an opportunity to get off the field on 3rd and 11. Williams with the fake to Dallas. Pressure coming. Escapes it. Finds Cameron Harris, and that's going to be close. It's not going to be enough, though. Let me pick up a 7 on the play. Because of the loss on the last play, Miami's going to be forced to punt.
You see Coach calling for punt safe again. That's what it means by swinging his arms back and forth, prepare for any types of fakes.
Khalil Pimpleton back to receive this Lou Headley punt. Dover's going to about the 24-yard line and take a Central Michigan bounce before being ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. It's Charlotte and top-ranked Clemson. Streaming live on the ESPN app as well. They'll kick at 7:30, so you got to check that one out. Another crazy day in the ACC. All the guys back in the studio going to keep you apprised of what's going on throughout the night. But upsets, potential upsets, teams like Miami having a hard time with teams in the MAC. Now a little trickeration here. Moore's going to try and go deep. Well covered, though. Still his receiver makes a play on the ball, and coming up with it is Tyrone Scott.
And Tyrone Scott has really done a great job of developing as a big play threat. You know, watch this. This is a double pass. They're throwing it back to their quarterback, and the great part about David Moore is he's able to plant, and yes, it's double covering, but he throws it to only where his receiver can catch it for a big play.
Central Michigan back in Miami territory. Can they make good on a drive and put some points on the board? Moore pitches. Incomplete. Trying to hit Scott again, and he got clobbered on that play once again.
He did, and see if it was to the head. You know, a lot of these hits to the quarterback are up in that head area. I think this one was clean. Well, got a little bit of hand on it, but not enough to warrant a roughing the passer call.
Trayvon Hill putting the pressure on Moore.
Trayvon Hill's a guy who really wanted to get in this pass rush package a little bit more. And when we talked to Blake Baker, defensive coordinator from Miami, he said you have to earn the right to be on 3rd down by how you stop the run on 1st and 2nd down. He's earned the right today.
Moore with the fake, trying to find a tight end. That's a dangerous pass. Should have been picked off. Bandy, who's picked off a whole handful of those in his career, couldn't quite squeeze this one.
Well, he had a whole handful of that ball and just let it fall down to the turf, and he's kicking himself right now. David Moore just tried to lob it right over his head. Not
got a little greedy on that one.
Yeah, not anticipating maybe Bandy's vertical, but he sees his 6'7" tight end and just says, okay, let me throw it up, but just didn't get enough juice under the ball. And if you're going to throw it up, you want to at least throw it up long enough where your receiver can get it. Now a big 3rd down, and we have some Miami fans on their feet as their defense is stepping up.
3rd and 10 for the Chippewas. Moore rolling out. Pimpleton falls down as he tried to make a play on the ball, and it falls incomplete. Just a bit underthrown.
Another pressure up the middle by big number 15, Gregory Russo. Just moving David Moore off the spot enough to to not get his feet set, and the adjustment by Pimpleton to come back to the ball was failed due to slipping, and another big stop for Miami's defense.
Brady Buell, who has been busy, puts a foot into it, trying to kill it inside the 10, can't do it. It'll bounce into the end zone for a touchback. 44 yards on the kick. Miami takes over when we come back. (14-2) Miami on top after an absolutely dreadful second quarter offensively for the Canes. Manny Diaz said it's as bad as they could possibly play offensively heading into the half. They've really turned things around here in the third quarter. Had a nice drive last time out, and let's see what Darren Williams can do now with another opportunity. Give to Harris. Nothing doing. Quan Johnson, Robbie Stewart there to bring him down. It's been tough sledding running the football today.
It has, and they brought 2 tight ends to that game. On that play, Michael Irving Jr. was in as a blocking tight end, and even though they're bringing the big guys in, they're still not able to find those gaps up front because Central Michigan's defense is all over it. Robbie Stewart was right there. Stop DJ Dallas in that run.
Now the fake Williams. Pressure, just has to throw it away.
Ooh, I don't know if there's a receiver anywhere near him there.
And he certainly looked like he was still in the tackle box. The officials now, the linesman's going to come over and talk. Now they're going to drop the flag. That was what the indication was. There was no receiver and he was still in the box.
Intentional grounding, offense, penalty is lost and down, 3rd down.
Laquan Johnson and Troy Brown forced Williams to throw it away.
You see that hash mark is kind of a good gauge, and he stays right on the hash as he backs up, staying in the tackle box. The tackle box extends all the way back to the goal line. He stayed in that tackle box and did not throw the ball towards any receiver. Good call by the officials.
Awesome penalty. Miami's pushed way back to their own 8-yard line. 3rd and 22. Williams back to pass. Up off the screen. Cameron Harris, nothing doing. Troy Brown comes up to make the stop. There's Johnson again. This defense, Central Michigan, keeping their team in it.
I don't mind the call of the screen pass, but watch number 8, Troy Brown, on the right side of your screen. He sees it too. He knows backed up, they have to do something that's safe. A screen pass is relatively safe. He comes up, makes a great hit. Oh, look, they're punting right in the back of their own end zone, and that's dangerous.
Khalil Pimpleton stepping his heels on his own 45. Sideways spinning punt. Pimpleton picks up a good field. Dances his way a little bit, stays on his feet, gets down to the 40-yard line. Central Michigan will have great starting field position.
Can't tell you how hard that is to catch that ball. We talked about a boomeranging around. He did a great job of corralling and getting upfield.
Tonight, all ACC will have the scores, highlights, and breakdowns from the day's action on the gridiron. Nobody covers the ACC like we do. 10:30 Eastern right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. Jordan Cornette and company going to go through yet another just unpredictable and wild day in the ACC. This game a big part of that, with Miami up 14-2, but they haven't been able to put away Central Michigan.
Central Michigan hasn't been able to cross the 30-yard line yet on offense. They only have 10 yards to go. Let's see if they can pick up a first down and get in striking distance.
Lewis picks up 2 yards before Shaq Quarterman is there to drop it.
Central Michigan has really hung tough this whole game, and I think this drive is important for them. They have a lot of fire coming out of half, and it seems like momentum's on their side, but I think they need to score a touchdown on this play to really put pressure on Miami offensively.
Backfield for Moore. Over the middle, overshoots his intended receiver, Tyrone Scott. Well, he's got those tall receivers. Scott 6'3", Sullivan 6'2". Just hasn't been able to get on target with them downfield. Another 3rd and long. Opportunity for Miami to get off the field. Lewis comes out of the backfield, split right. Now in motion, back flanking Moore. Flag down, they'll blow this one dead.
Number 60. Snap infraction. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Viper with the infraction, and 3rd and 8's tough enough. 3rd and 13 against this defense today. It's been really tough for the Chippewas.
See if they change the formation. They lined up with 3 speedy wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. Looks like they're going to go back in the same formation. I've seen something in the defense that they like.
Moore has time. It's Lewis, but that'll be nowhere near the 1st down. Pinckney, nice job. He's been really shadowing Lewis out of the backfield all day.
Yeah, that's such an asset for your defense when you can have a linebacker stay on the field and match up the running back man-to-man. That's something that's going to take Pinckney to the next level in terms of the NFL prospect. His ability to cover backs out of the backfield is going to allow him to be a 3-down linebacker in the NFL. Look for his stock to be very high this upcoming draft.
There's Ryan Tice, who missed from 54. Now he's going to try 55. Tice with enough leg. This one's on target. That's a new career long for Ryan Tice, the Groza watch list kicker from Central Michigan. And yeah, McElwain says we're hanging in there. Minute 27 left to go in this 3rd quarter, and Tice puts the Central Michigan offense on the board finally.
Yeah, really good kick, really good follow through. And 5 points is not a score you see very often on the scoreboard, but McElwain wishes he had a touchdown on that drive, but points on the board, and points are not easy to come by in this game on either side of the ball.
Now Miami will get the football back. Opening drive of the game, 85 yards and a score. Opening drive of this 2nd half, took it right down and scored. Other than those 2 drives, it's been a real struggle. Sharon Williams in this Miami offense.
And some of that has to do with play calling, how much you want to change it up after a successful drive to show something else, but you got to get right back to what's been working. And they came out the 2nd half and they did that. They got some big guys on the field. Miami did offensively, got the ball on the ground. And Sharon Williams is very consistent with the air.
Thomas moves it out on his 2-yard line. Now reverses field. Oh, just shoestring tackle. Brings him down by Darius Bracey. With Thomas's speed, he may have been able to get to the outside, but Bracey with a nice save, and Miami will start from their own 22-yard line. Williams has been under pressure all day. He's had some plays, but he's missed some receivers too.
Yeah, he has, but he started out this 1st half with a bunch of big passes to his tight ends early. And then this big pass at the end of the last drive to score their 2nd touchdown of the day. Sharon Williams needs to settle down. His coaches say he plays his best when he knows what he sees, settles down. Pre-snap poise is key for him today.
Quickly, Thomas, he's got room. 30, 35, knocked out of bounds at about the 42. So a big 1st down gain for the Canes. This will get him started.
He's able to use his speed, and watch right here, number 9. Big tight end gets out in front and leads the way on the cornerback, allowing Jeff Thomas to use his speed and get outside. That builds confidence in the quarterback. He'll get a nice completion for a big game.
Fake to the running back. Hits his receiver, quick slant. Brian Hightower.
It's good. It's a rhythm throw. He got the ball on the play fake, saw the linebacker bite up, hit it right in behind him. You had some success at the last play, getting it out to your playmaker on the outside. You come right back with a rhythm throw right on target. This is what Miami wants to see from Sharon Williams. Doesn't matter that shaky start as long as you finish well. He's finishing right now.
Hightower in motion. Hand off to Dallas. Cuts it back. Picks up maybe 4 yards on the carry. And that might be the final play of this third quarter. The Hurricanes extend their lead here in the third quarter, but it hasn't been easy. 14-5, Miami on top. Can they close it out at home? Final stanza next. Start of the fourth quarter here in South Florida, 14-5, Miami on top. And we talk about sometimes how ugly a game it is, and in many respects it has been. Both these teams through the first 3 games of the year, Mark, they've been able to run the football, but not tonight. And I think you really have to tip your cap to both defenses. Yeah, sometimes when we're watching it, we think it's an ugly game. It's really just great execution by defenses, not allowing a lot of points. And in this case, allowing barely any rushing yards on the ground. Second down for Sharon Williams and the Canes. Here's Thomas on the end around. He has room, tricked up, but not before he picks up a first down. They haven't been able to get any rushing yards from their backs on the ground, but Jeff Thomas is one of the guys that you can put in there and gain rushing yards in a different way. And his ability to outrun the defensive edge, we talked about how well Central Michigan was able to set the edge on previous drives in the second quarter. Well, you can't set the edge when you have that much speed coming at you, especially when he takes the ball from the motion. That 35-yard line tripped him up. First down for the Canes. Jordan in motion. Fake to Dallas. Pressure coming. Now they get it to Jordan. He's got a lot of room. He's got some blockers in front of him. Big fella inside the 15. They'll mark him down at the 14-yard line. First down for Miami. Number 9 in the backfield. If you're Shawn and Seiya, you need to understand, I need to be blocked by somebody. If I'm not blocked by anyone, I need to turn around and sprint. There's probably a screen right behind me. Laquan Johnson, signature football show hosted by Jack Collinsworth with analysts Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, and Mark Ricks. They'll preview the weekend slate of games and keep you updated on all the things ACC football next Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern and Saturday 11 a.m. right here on the ACC network and on the ESPN app. Miami moving the football again here in the second half. Williams looking to the end zone, pressure coming, lofts it over the corner. Flag down. It was intercepted, but out of the back of the end zone, so incomplete. Let's check the flag. Williams was dumped. Flag back by the quarterback as well. 2 flags, one in the end zone, one by Williams. Williams got absolutely drilled on
One
this.
foul on the play. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 45. First down.
Troy Hairston. Now, was he blocked into the quarterback?
I don't know, man. I don't even know anymore. He didn't intentionally hit the quarterback late. I know that. The quarterback kind of fell into him. It looked bad, but well, right now it actually, looks bad. He's coming out.
Well, Hairston's coming out, and Williams is coming over to the sideline.
Oh, there it is.
He's just having a word with Dan Enos, the offensive coordinator, right back in.
I had the wind knocked out of him.
The end result, first down and goal from the 7. Dallas stretching it out inside the 5. Another flag down on the play.
That's going to be holding on Larry Hodges, who lined up at the fullback position.
Holding. Offense number 81. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, you got it. Hodges, the freshman from Tampa Jesuit.
Hodges really stood out last week at 2 touchdowns. Right here, he just grabs all the jersey and
that's pretty obvious.
Yep, that's a hold.
Teaching moment for Manny Diaz.
That's a true freshman as well. Manny, I love his facial expression. He understands he's trying to do the right thing. He's got his hands outside the body frame. That's what led to the hold.
Replay first down. Play clock winding down. Just get it off. Williams going to the end zone. Just slightly behind K.J. Osborne, whose only catch on the night was a touchdown earlier in the third quarter. Daquan Jamison was there along with Brandon Brown defending on the play. This one was just slightly behind Osborne.
Yeah, it was right off his back shoulder, and Brandon Brown does a really good job of keeping his hand off the back shoulder pad, reaching around and getting the ball out.
He might have gotten that left hand in there just a smidge early. Good defensive play. Second down and goal. Dallas slips on the turf, and he goes down. No gain on the play. Third and long for this Canes offense that was moving the ball very well before that penalty backed him up a little bit.
Troy Brown, linebacker, came up and made another really good stop. He dipped his shoulder and got right under the blocker and knocked the blocker back into the ball carrier for the stop. Sometimes you can't get to the ball carrier, you got to tackle him with another body, and he did it on that play.
You see how poorly the Canes have done on third down tonight. Just completely ineffective. Williams looking to the sideline for the call. Play clock inside of 5. And Miami's going to call a timeout here to talk things over.
Charge timeout.
Manny
Miami.
Diaz, Dan Enos going to talk things over with their quarterback. We'll be back.
Timeout.
I know my buddy Dallin Cuff is back in studio wanting some airtime, but Dallin, he might not have time for you, because coming up after us, our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. It's Clemson and Charlotte from Death Valley. They'll kick at 7:30. So just keep listening to that Al Jarreau, my friend. We got some football here. We got some football tonight from upstate South Carolina. This game isn't over yet, folks. Miami's had a real hard time offensively. Tip your cap. Give credit to Central Michigan defensively. Once the Canes have gotten into the red zone, as you can see, they've been able to put it in the end zone. It's just getting there. It's been the problem.
Yeah, they have. And that's exactly what you want. 2 touchdowns and on 2 trips the red zone. In order to stay perfect tonight, they got to capitalize on this third down. They got third down and goal. Long way to go.
Cameron Harris now in the backfield. Straight up the middle. Full head of steam. Puts his shoulder down and gets to the 10-yard line, but Daquan Jamison was there to bring him down. It'll bring up 4th and goal, and Bubba Baxa will come in to attempt a field goal.
It's an interesting play call, and obviously Manny Diaz wanted to discuss it with his staff by calling that timeout before that play. He was fine settling for a field goal on this. I think they've realized that their defense has been able to limit Central Michigan so far, and getting even in the red zone. They feel comfortable just adding points to the board with this kick.
Baxa from 27 yards, pushes it wide right.
But the flag late could have been roughing the kicker.
Kyron McKinney-Harper was in on the block attempt.
Running into the kicker. Defense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So McKinney-Harper gives Baxa another opportunity, but this really has to, you start to wonder about your kicker as we take a look at the penalty. Just clips him on the way past, but Baxa is 4 for 8 on the year.
Yeah, he's 4 for 8 on the year, and obviously that one isn't going to count in the stat sheet. He needs to hit that, and that might have gone into a little bit of the decision early in that first quarter to go for it on 4th and 4, which they did not get.
22 yards now after the penalty on this attempt for Baxa. He's true this time. Miami adds to their lead.
It was really telling watching Manny Diaz after that kick. Little thank you, because even though there was a penalty on that first kick that missed wide, you saw him in that crouch position, really almost losing confidence in his kicker. But
well, he's going to need him.
He absolutely needs him. And he talked to us, he's one of the best kickoff specialists in the country, but a lot of the kicker's job is you need to be able to make the easy ones, and if Miami wants to be a serious contender, they have to be able to score field goals.
Bubba Baxa and Camden Price, 2 kickers battling it out, but we were speaking to Manny Diaz about that this week. He liked Baxa's approach, liked the week of practice Baxa was having.
Yeah, and I think you asked him whether it's a competition every single week or whether it's Baxa's job, and he said nope, it's week to week. He said Bubba Baxa had a better week in practice. He earned the job to kick, and it still looks like it's a little bit shaky. Not a ton of confidence in him. But he made it.
He's 1 for 1.
1 for 1
on the day. Baxa puts his foot into this one. Andre Braswell waiting for it at his own 1. Gets open. He's gonna have to make a tackle. And he does. And he gets a nice ovation from the crowd. There's more to being a kicker than just kicking, my friend. Sometimes you got to save a touchdown, and Bubba Baxa does it.
And right here, a lot of times nowadays you catch the ball at the 1-yard line, you see a fair catch, bring it out to the 25, but the broken tackle and the extended play, if it wasn't for 21, that would have been a touchdown. But Bubba Baxa gets involved, not only getting the field goal on the board, but gets involved with the tackle as well. There should be some sort of change for that.
Right now, Central Michigan, desperate need of a drive right here. And they need 6 more. And has time. Very minimal gain on that play, thanks to Robert Knowles.
Oh, and boy, that was an opportunity for a huge play, but David Moore just missed Colby Lewis streaking down the sideline. He ran on a wheel route. You see on the right side of your screen, nobody goes with the running
Finley
back.
Was pointing to him.
And the pressure again on David Moore allowed him not see that receiver down the sideline.
2nd down and 10 for the Chippewas. Oljan in motion. Moore now, pressure coming. Tries to get it to his tight end. Incomplete. He got hit.
One of the things we talked about is when you get 5 wide receivers out and you're not keeping your back end to protect, you have to have an option in case the man who was supposed to be covering the back blitzes.
Al Blades Jr. on the far side.
Exactly, and you've seen too many times the back not turn around to get that quick hot read by the quarterback, and that hurt them there. Now another third down and long. They've been relatively successful on 3rd down in the first half. So far in the second half, haven't been able to have the same success.
Pimpleton in motion. Moore, pressure coming. Gets rid of it. Complete to Pimpleton, who steps out of bounds close to that 1st down marker. He's going to be a little short. DJ Ivey forced Pimpleton out. It looks like he's going to come up a yard shy.
Yeah, I mean, this is to me, this is 4 down territory. I think you go for this one. But let's see where the ball goes out when he steps. Yeah, it looks like it's right behind that line. At least that's where his feet went out. It doesn't look like the ball extended any further. Yeah, and I think this is the right call. You go for it. Not many times you've seen this opportunity, and take your quarterback sneak right up the middle.
Lewis is the back. They'll hand it to him. Finds the 1st down. Picks up a few more. 4 on the play. Quarterman was there to bring him down, but they'll move the chains.
Really good blocking and good surge up front. Talked about that mass times acceleration earlier. They got that force moving and the pressure and opened up a little window for Colby Lewis to get through. That's what you got to do. You love seeing that play call. Yeah, it's 4th down, but you're playing against Miami and you're within striking distance and the game is close in the 4th quarter. This is exactly what you want. Be gutsy with the play call.
Pimpleton in motion, coming into the slot. Moore has time, tries to get to Pimpleton. Dangerous pass. Gilbert Frierson was there, mad at himself for not coming down with it.
I know what they're going to be doing on Monday at practice. They are going to be on the jugs machine. These defensive backs are going to be. They have dropped a bunch of picks today, and you know they've had so many turnovers since the turnover chain was established. They lead all of FBS in number of turnovers since then. And It would have been adding and adding and adding and adding to that number today, but a lot of drop passes.
Fryerson's phone is blowing up from his cousin, Frank Gore. That's not the Miami way to drop those passes. Double tights here on the right. Moore has time, tries to find one of them. Woo. Bernard Raven almost had it in his hands, couldn't come down with it. That was a bullet.
Another third down for this Chippewa offense, and they got their 3 receivers in the game again. Worked out well, getting the ball to Tyrone Scott and Ja'Cory Sullivan. They're 2 big wide receivers in the first half over the middle. Miami's defense looks like they've shored that up a little bit, but if they bring pressure, look for the middle of the field zone.
Moore reaches for the snap, has some room to run if he chooses. Now he does. He needs some blockers, and he slides. He'll be shy of the first down marker by a good 3 yards.
That's so, it's so smart. I can't tell you, like, David Moore, this is his second start. He understands that it's 4-down territory. A lot of times you think 3rd down, I gotta force it. But he sits in this pocket and he sees a 3-man rush, sees an open running lane. He knows he has another down to pick up the first down. So let me get as much as I can to make it as easy as possible on 4th down. And here they come with a big 4th down that they need to convert.
Colby Lewis is split left. Pimpleton now out of the backfield. Moore gets it to him, and it's a 1st down.
And there was miscommunication by that defense. The linebackers in the corners, Trajan Bandy and Michael Pickney, were talking to each other like, I thought we were in and out, or I'm not sure exactly what they were playing, but no one was on Pimpleton in the flat there.
New set of downs for Central Michigan. Clock you can see ticking under 8.5 minutes left to go in this 4th quarter. Miami up 12 with Central Michigan driving. They've yet to run a play inside the red zone today.
This might be their first snap inside the 30.
Movement. Central Florida will be pushed back 5 yards. That's not what they need.
Charge timeout. Central Michigan, their first timeout.
Coach McElwain fortunate enough to get the
Cranking the Al Jarreau in Tallahassee, Cotter.
Oh man, Dallin and I, a lot of studio time and during basketball season, a lot of late nights. Gonzaga games during the winter times in Bristol. Listening to Al Jarreau, good times. Central Michigan trying to get a score here. They got a man open inside the 10, and Moore is a battler. Connecting with Ja'Cory Sullivan inside the 10-yard line. First time the Chippewas now have been in the red zone all game long.
Look at the catch, see if he controls it. It looks like he gets his hands underneath it. The ball doesn't move. I think that's a really good throw by David Moore, but even better concentration by Ja'Cory Sullivan. Just fantastic catch. And he's made some couple big plays today.
So a unique opportunity, at least as far as this game is concerned, with Central Michigan. 1st and 10. First time I've been able to say that all day. Moore. Oh my goodness, had his tight end pole jam so wide open, but he just didn't have enough time to execute all the fakes.
Goodness gracious. We got to see the replay of the hit on David Moore. Oh my goodness.
Finley and Hall combined to make the hit. He's back up on his feet. Take another look.
He is tough, but
he got it from both ends. Finley first, and then Hall was there to clean it up.
got up a little slow.
He knew it was coming, and Pojan was wide open, just couldn't get it to him, just on the time.
Bottom of the screen, you got big number 11 out there.
Here's Lewis. Cuts it in, gets to the 5, 3rd and goal. This Miami defense has been very stingy to run against tonight. What do you think Charlie Fry is cooking up?
I was about to say the same thing. And, you know, you look at this and you know, even though you're in field goal territory, this is a you got 4 downs. You need to get a touchdown here. You know, didn't get this opportunity to get down here very often. You could possibly see another run here, but if there's a matchup potential to burst out of this bunch formation.
In the flat, tried to find Lewis. And he was well covered at any rate. Gilbert Frierson was out there on the coverage.
And now I don't think that there's much of a decision in terms of field goal or not. It's just in terms of how do we want to gain the matchups, and whether you take 88 Cleo Pimpleton and try to work him on a linebacker inside, or you take big Tyrone Scott and put him on the outside against a shorter wide receiver. We'll see what they do.
Looking for his tight end, Pojan. Now we get a flag.
And a flag's down. Well, they did find the mismatch, and it wasn't the bigger Tyrone Scott. It was the gigantic tight end who was coming across the field. They like 6'7" in the red zone.
Holding defense, number 56. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
When we talk about Pinckney, he's been running after tight ends and running backs all night long.
Oof. Yeah, and I don't like that call. I really don't. I think their feet got tangled up. I think that trying to make a play on the ball.
McElwain was pining for it. He got it.
See why
Diaz was putting his arms up. Couldn't believe it. Goes Central Michigan's way. First and goal. Lewis trying to bounce it outside. Nothing doing. Quarterman leads a gang of Hurricanes. Second down and goal.
And I don't love that play call. You know, I've nothing wrong with a stretch run play, but doing that into the boundary, the short side of the field, just bunches everybody up too much. And when we talked to Blake Baker and what is your coaching philosophy for your defensive front, he said, I want my guys to shoot gaps and get penetration, get upfield, go upfield, get forward and make it messy. Let the linebackers clean it up. You saw that penetration on that play. He's looking for it again here.
Lewis in the backfield. All kinds of movement. Looked like everybody moved on Central Michigan except for the center.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Poljan's infraction moves Central Michigan back 5 yards.
You know, it's really interesting. When you get penalties down in the red zone, obviously you don't want to be farther away from the goal line, but sometimes it opens up bigger passing windows, especially over the middle.
And when you're having a hard time running the football.
Exactly.
Lewis in motion out of the backfield. Moore looks his way. Over the middle, finds Pimpleton inside the 5, and a late flag near where Moore threw that football from.
It's like maybe Scott Patchen. Late hit.
After the play was over, personal foul. Unnecessary roughness defense, number 71. Penalty is half the distance to goal. First down.
And Diaz can't believe it. It's a penalty you absolutely cannot have.
Patchen's father, Matt, played here at Miami, won a national championship. Won a couple of them, actually. There you see it at the bottom. 71 just hitting one of the linemen late.
You don't see that called very often. You think that the linemen kind of can defend themselves, but they have the same protection as the quarterback in that situation. They're behind the play. They can't just be knocked down after the whistle either.
So another first and goal for Central Michigan. Can they punch it in? Looking to go power here. Flag down. Lewis can't get anywhere.
Flag down in the play, and looks like encroachment on the defense, possibly over the line of scrimmage on the snap.
Offside. Defense, number 71. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Second down.
Well, we saw mistakes from Central Michigan give Miami opportunity after opportunity
Correction, first down.
in that first half, and now we're seeing it on this drive from this Miami defense. 12th penalty of the game for the Hurricanes.
Scott Patton's a guy that they talked about all week as a reliable player. He's just getting in his own head right now. A mistake with the penalty after the play and then not looking at the ball. You're right there. Just look at the ball. That's what Manny Diaz was saying to him. Stay behind the line of scrimmage.
Power again for Central Michigan. Lou Nichols, a freshman. Nothing. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Garvin with everybody else for the Canes making the stop.
In Miami's defense, this front four, although they've had those couple penalties, they're just penetrating vertically. They're trying to get under the pads of Central Michigan's offensive line. And watch these guys just get low and drive. And the linebackers and safeties are just piling in after them in the open gaps. And that's exactly what you want to see. Look for a play action here. Get it outside.
16th play of this drive. Getting it outside. Now the corner of the end zone. Receiver tried to go up for it. That's going to be a flag. Drayton Law, another one of those big receivers that Central Michigan has, tried to go up for it and couldn't go through the defensive back who wasn't playing the football.
Pass interference. Defense number 1. First down.
Manny Diaz is saying 4 penalties right down here. Problem is, Trajan Bandy got caught up in the line of scrimmage thinking it was run and had to recover. And when you make contact with the receivers in the air and you don't turn your head back around, that's going to be called pass interference. And it's called there.
They'll try it again. This time Lewis over the top. Just suspended in midair, and the officials aren't going to give him the goal line.
Forward progress puts him at like the half-yard line, but he started crowd surfing. I'm sure that's an experience that Colby Lewis never felt before, but see where the ball gets to.
Right on the goal line, but Quarterman is there to meet him. You see Jonathan Ford pushing the pile back. Never got there.
And really smart play by Lewis not to extend the ball. A lot of times running backs will have to want to extend the ball over the goal line to get the touchdown.
The previous play is under further review.
But with so many bodies in there, I think extending that ball could have caused a turnover, and that's the last thing you want to do, especially on first down.
Take another look. Lewis going over the top. I give him credit with the elevation.
Oh, yeah.
Just too many green jerseys there to prevent him from falling forward into the end zone.
Yeah, you watch that push.
Crowd surfing.
I don't know who's right in there, but that guy just kind of moved the whole pile backwards.
Quarterman's in the mix.
Yeah, you see Quarterman right
Carter.
there. Yep. And Pinckney and Quarterman, you got those 2 linebackers. Watch these 2 linebackers right here, and they get underneath the pads of the offensive linemen and just don't ever let their feet die.
You saw Derek Smith, number 56, just get stood up.
Yeah.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Second down.
Now, if you're Charlie Fry, what do you do here? Second down from the 1. You just keep trying to punch it in?
I mean, I got to try a quarterback sneak. I mean, walking back, handing the ball to your running back in the backfield, then letting him run forward hasn't worked yet. Plug it right up in there, just wedge it in beneath, and have your quarterback get the touchdown himself.
Big fullback number 44 in motion. He's going to try it. And this time he gets in. Central Michigan is finally able to hit pay dirt.
Ruling on the field is a touchdown.
Canes came out of that scrum with the football, but the ruling on the field was that David Moore hung on to the football long enough to get it across the goal line. Take another look.
Yeah, can't see anything. I mean, you see David Moore right there.
Yeah, he's 3 yards into the end zone.
And you watch him, he's going to pop out right there.
with possession of the football.
Still's got the ball. The ball comes out. I think right now, gets pulled out. That's good acting job, but ref got that one right.
Tice with the PAT. Folks, we got a 5-point game here with 3:16 left to go. Kelsey, what do you got?
Well, I was standing on the Central Michigan sideline for that entire drive, and let me tell you what, it was really interesting. Jim McElwave and Charlie Fry the whole time just seemed in tune. There was a couple of points where they just looked at each other and smiled when they went for it on 4th down, said, yeah, I think we're going to do it. And then right there at the end, Colby Lewis, when he went in number 4, he went up to them and said, put me in, I could do this. You saw that extra effort from him over the top trying to get in the end zone. And then obviously everyone very happy after they punched it in.
All right, thanks, Kel. So finally a drive for this Central Michigan team that bears fruit. 17 plays, 55 yards. Now, a lot of those plays, they got play after play after play with the penalties down here in the red zone, but their first foray into the red zone for the Chippewas, and they're able to score a touchdown.
Yeah, and it was really interesting. You just saw a clip of someone talking to David Moore on the sideline, and that was their trainer. And I want to say he was probably checking him if he got a concussion when he had that big hit. And you saw Charlie Fry walk over, the trainer left, and the trainer gave him a thumbs up, said he's okay. And that's a good sign.
We'll be back. Miami up 5 with the ball, 3:21 left to play.
Spending your days playing while still getting a check plan.
Central Michigan finally able to find the end zone on that last drive. Quarterback David Moore keeping it from 1 yard out, trying to fire up his team. Down 5 with under 3.5 minutes left to go in this 4th quarter. That Central Michigan's just hanging tough. Now, Ryan Tice to kick off for the Chippewas. You and I debated whether an onside kick was something that they might think about with 3:21. With 2 timeouts, they'd opt to kick it off, and Miami will start from their 25. Down, what do you got back in studio?
Cotter, coming up, bottom of the hour. The defending champs, Clemson Tigers, Dabo Swinney leading his boys against Charlotte. They come to town. As you see him and Nick Saban, probably 2 active coaches with FBS titles. That game's coming up in just over 12 minutes. But now, back to Miami and a nail-biter.
Yeah, thanks, Down. We've got one right here. Central Michigan needs a 3 and out. They've got 2 timeouts on the board, but they need to get that football back. And Sharon Williams, conversely, they need to figure out a way to move the chains. That's a good start right there. DJ Dallas picking up 5 yards on 1st down.
Charge timeout. Central Michigan, their second. 30 seconds.
We have a player down on the field, too, for Central Michigan. Looks like it might be Adesanya.
We'll check in on the defensive end for Central Michigan when we come back. Points up there in the Carrier Dome. Did it again today. Wake Forest continues to roll. Look at North Carolina falling to App State.
Man, you talk about previewing that Clemson game. Charlotte played App State pretty tough. Charlotte's going to be, Dabo Swinney said it's the best offense they're facing. I don't know talent-wise, but could be scheme.
Yeah, here's Dallas trying to pick up that 1st down and trying to stay in bounds. Forced out of bounds. He's close to the yard marker to pick up. Looks like he's going to get it, and that's the most important thing for Miami. Hobbling a little bit on the play. Dallas will go to the bench.
Right.
Holding his right ankle.
Charge timeout. Central Michigan, their 3rd and final timeout. 30 seconds.
Central Michigan calls a timeout on 1st down. That may have happened because Dallas was trying to stay in bounds.
And I couldn't tell from the ruling of the official whether he had actually gone out of bounds and the clock would have stopped. Then it would have seemed like a wasted timeout, but
clock stops on a 1st down anyway, although it would have restarted once they placed the ball in for play. It's irrelevant now. Central Michigan uses their final timeout. There's a look at DJ Dallas's day. Tough sledding for Dallas. He did score that touchdown on the opening drive. Looked like he might have a nice night, but it has every inch that he has gained tonight has been due to effort.
Yeah, that one right there. This is a shame because he was just trying to get down in bounds, and end up doing something he doesn't usually do and getting his ankle tweaked. Hopefully he's all right. You got number 9 in the backfield pushing out. Keep the ball on the ground, just get a first here.
Imran Harris. He'll stretch out. He's going to want to stay in bounds, and he does. Nice job of picking up what he can before going down. Let's take a look at what Miami has coming up. They'll get a week off before continuing their homestand against Virginia Tech on October 5th. Then Virginia comes to town, so a couple of big ACC games for them. 3 games in a row at home. They started the first year, that Florida game in Gainesville, neutral location, then on the road at what has become a very tough environment in Chapel Hill. Mac Brown has the fans really electrified about football up there, even though the tough loss today. So now getting the well-deserved homestand, if you will, for the Canes. Harris met at the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up nothing. On second down, it'll bring up third down, and that clock continues to roll. It'll roll inside 2 minutes.
Yeah, and this is a time where you want the clock to keep running. You might see a bubble screen out to a wide receiver just to try to pick up this first down, because if you get the first down, the game's essentially over. But you do want the ball to keep the clock to keep running. So you could see a run up the middle, or in my opinion, you try to get the ball out to number 4 on the outside and a quick pass or a jet sweep to try to circle this defense.
Canes fans will be happy to see number 13 back in the game. Dot in the eye. That's DJ Dallas. Third down, the long 6. Dallas is going to see what he can do, and it's not going to be much. Chippewas knew it was coming. They'll make the stop. Fans here unhappy about the call, but this clock will wind down inside a minute before Miami even has to punt the ball away.
And that becomes the problem. You don't get the first down. Now you're going to punt the ball, put it back. It'll be interesting to see if Central Michigan comes after the punter here. They already blocked 1 punt today. And you know what he's going to do. He's going to roll out to his right and give one of those rugby-style punts. See if they come after him, if they try to get a return.
Lou Headley from Australia. And do all he can to quickly get this ball up in the air, and he does. That's a good kick. Really good kick. Pimpleton driven back inside his 10. Fumbles it initially, now picks it up. Trying to find some room and can't. Outstanding job by the Miami punt coverage team, dropping Pimpleton down at his own 5. And guess who's involved in the tackle? Shaquille Quarterman. The best player on your defense, making a huge play on special teams after a long night.
We call these situations all hands on deck. Sometimes in the game, a special teams play becomes so important that you need all your best players in on coverage. That was one of those plays that they needed everybody. And when we talk to Manny Diaz, he talks about his punt team. If you're on my punt team, you're a starter on my team. Well, in that case, you had a 43-game starter on that punt team, and they pinned him all the way back. Now a long, long way to go for David Moore in this offense.
Moore from his own end zone. Tried to get it to Pimpleton, just overthrew him. Non-conference game for Miami tonight. Let's take a look at the ACC Coastal standings as these teams start to play each other. Conference play, we'll get a lot more of that when the calendar turns over to October. Virginia off to a good start. North Carolina as well, even though they lost out of conference to App State today. Moore to his tight end, hits him. Brought down immediately, incomplete. Moore couldn't handle it. That was Tony Poljan coming up limping as well. Took a big hit. Poljan wants to stay in the game, but he's coming up limping. Third and 10 for Central Michigan. From their own 5, just trying to keep their hope alive. Moore again from his own end zone. Has time. Has a receiver. The 20, 25. Makes a move to get out to the 28-yard line. That was Scott. And Moore got hit again. Wincing in pain. then he's going to have to go down. We've got a player down for Miami as well. Trayvon Hill down to the 20-yard line.
And how about this? Because Trayvon Hill was down and they stopped time for him being injured, David Moore knew it was okay for him to be down, because if not, it would have been a 10-second runoff, taking a timeout for an injured player with no timeouts left. But
there is no 10-second runoff as there is an injury to both players. The clock will start on my signal.
Jeff Heiser explaining what you were just explaining.
Yeah, and that's, you know, it doesn't seem like much, but that was a huge break for Chippewa offense. And what a way to sit in the pocket. I mean, he is going to be sore tomorrow. He's grabbing his wrist, but Tyrone Scott on another big play over the middle, and
now Moore has to sit for a play. He didn't get the 10-second runoff, but because the clock stopped because of an injured player himself and a player from Miami, Tommy Lazzaro now has to come in. What a spot for him to come in and attempt his first pass.
You got to throw this ball toward the sideline.
Tried to connect with Pimpleton. Pass was a little behind him. Trajan Bandy on the coverage. So now Moore will come back with 15 seconds remaining.
I got to say, I mean, instead you got to throw it to the sideline because you either want an incomplete ball or them to catch it and go out of bounds, so you don't have your backup quarterback in for this entire drive, because that's what could have happened. Now David Moore's in. He needs to get the first down or get the ball. I think the clock stopped.
Moore rolling. Throws it up for grabs. And it's intercepted. Al Blades Jr. with the pick.
And how fitting is that for Al Blades Jr.? Absolutely fantastic job by this Miami defense to close this game out. Another turnover chain will be on his neck. But I gotta say, the gutsy effort by David Moore and this Chippewa team has been absolutely outstanding. As many drop picks as we saw tonight, the game all but ends with an interception by Al Blades Jr.
Looks a lot like his father, doesn't he?
He does, at number 7.
Sharon Williams takes a knee, and that will wrap things up. A gutsy performance by Coach McElwain and his Central Michigan Chippewas, but Manny Diaz comes away with a win. It might be ugly,